What is going on, y'all? It is the Caveman back at it again with another video, and tonight is the night that some big name players get to take home some hardware for their excellent performances here in the 2021 season. And I did want to get some predictions out on who I think we're going to take home said awards. But before we get into it, you guys know the drill around here. Mott's, I got the shirt on today. Mott's applesauce. If you're ever hungry, thirsty, whatever it might be, Mott's applesauce will satisfy whatever satisfy you to satisfy the Caveman guarantee. I promise it will never fail ya. Who's the MVP? Mott's is the MVP, damn it. Alright, so this is a predictions video, so it's going to be relatively straightforward, but I'm going to throw my own little curveball into it because I don't like making things easy. I'm going to tell you who I predict is going to win the award, but I'm also going to tell you who I think should win the award, or who I would personally give the award to, if that makes sense. Alrighty, so let's kick it off, starting with the NFL Coach of the Year award. I will put the odds for the award at the bottom of the screen. Currently, Mike Vrabel is the favorite, and I do think he is the man that will take home the hardware. The other important question, though, is Mike Vrabel the coach that I would give the award to? And I think I'm gonna still say yes. I really can't think of anybody else I'd give the award to. I mean, Mike Vrabel's Tennessee Titans roster went through a lot this year. Their defense wasn't great. Their pass rush really stepped up for them, but their secondary was bottom tier. Not to mention their offensive star power. They missed a ton of time collectively. Derrick Henry missed a ton of weeks. Julio Jones missed a ton of weeks. A.J. Brown barely played. I mean, Ryan Tannehill was really left out there to dry, and he struggled. Yet, they still finished with the #1 seed in the AFC. And they managed to take the top seed with 2 of their losses being to the Jets and the Texans. I can't tell if that's impressive or not, that they still managed to walk away with #1 with 2 losses like that on their resume. But either way, this is a regular season award. I do think Mike Vrabel deserves it. For our first player award, we're going to start with the comeback player of the year. And I really didn't think anybody was going to contend Dak Prescott for this hardware. But now, according to the books, it's relatively close. Dak Prescott is the favorite here, but Joe Burrow put together one hell of a season coming off of a very bad ACL tear. In his second season, he's really put together one hell of a resume to go and take home this award. The player I think is going to win this award is Dak Prescott. I do think the whole story, the whole narrative that comes with him, you know, how he went out last year, people were kind of crying for him, everybody was sad, and now he comes back and he plays pretty damn well. I do think he's going to end up taking it. Although, when it comes to the player I think should win the award, or the player I would give it to, I think I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. I mean, him and Dak Prescott had relatively similar seasons statistically, but the reason I'm taking Joe Burrow is just because, you know, he's a second-year quarterback coming off of an awful ACL tear on a team that wasn't supposed to have more than 8 wins this season. Nobody suspected them to be where they are currently, and even just excluding their postseason run, their regular season tear was pretty impressive in itself. So I think just what takes it home for me is the fact that Joe Burrow just so young, and he's been able to lead a team that really wasn't supposed to be as good as they are to the point they're at. So that's why I am going to take Joe Burrow here, and that's who I think should win it, but I do think Dak is going to take it home at the end of the day. Next, we got Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm not going to spend much time on this. Micah Parsons is the heavy favorite for very obvious reasons. He's also in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. So if this guy doesn't take home the Defensive Rookie of the Year award, there's going to have to be a full-fledged investigation launched on the NFL for some sort of backdoor collusion. But as far as Offensive Rookie of the Year goes, this is a little bit tougher. It's a little bit closer of a race. Ja'Marr Chase or Mac Jones. Ja'Marr Chase is the leading favorite right now, but we all know how the NFL voters work when quarterbacks get involved and they're going against a non-quarterback. It gets a little dicey. For whatever reason in this league, quarterbacks get like an automatic advantage in these award shows. I mean, I don't really agree with it. I don't understand it whatsoever. But yeah, that's the only thing that's making me think that Mac Jones will upset Ja'Marr Chase here. But the player I ultimately think will take it home is Ja'Marr Chase. I think they'll, do the job right here, and I also would give it to Ja'Marr Chase. What he did as a rookie with a second-year quarterback, they built a connection. Granted, they had it in college, but in the NFL, very impressive, and I would give the award to Ja'Marr. So we're done with the rookies. Let's move into the Defensive Player of the Year award. I think this one should be unanimous as well, almost similar to how I feel about the Micah Parsons Defensive Rookie of the Year award. I feel the same way for the Defensive Player of the Year award. I mean, if TJ Watt doesn't take this home, the dude tied the single-season sack record in one less game than Michael Strahan. I mean, that's ridiculous. He was the entire glue to the Pittsburgh Steelers defense and team as a whole. Without TJ Watt, that team struggled tremendously. He's obviously the favorite here. He is who I think will take home the award. I can't imagine they screw this one up. That would be absolutely blasphemous. And I also think he should be the player that takes home the award, without question. All right, so Offensive Player of the Year. This one requires a little bit more thought. This one requires a little bit more of an investigation. We have a tie as far as the odds go between Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor. Both of these dudes had remarkable, and I mean remarkable seasons. As far as who I think is going to win the award, I think it's going to be Cooper Kupp. I unfortunately don't think Jonathan Taylor has much of a chance here. I mean, I just don't think running backs are getting very much respect in this league nowadays. You know, the NFL players from the Pro Bowl released their top 20 players list in the entire NFL, and some of those lists literally left off running backs in the top 20. No Derrick Henry, no Nick Chubb, no Jonathan Taylor. I mean, I just don't think running backs get enough respect. That's a conversation for another day. The difficult question here is, who do I think should get the award? Who would I personally give it to? And I think I'm going to take the fun route. I'm going to take, you know, the different route. And you'll see what I mean by that in a couple minutes. But I'm going to give it to Jonathan Taylor here. He absolutely deserves recognition for the season he had. I would say that Jonathan Taylor is just as important to the Colts offense as Derrick Henry is to the Titans offense. But as we saw, the Titans survived without Derrick Henry. They were fine. I don't think that would be the case for the Colts. They need him tremendously, as we saw this season. Carson Wentz struggled in some bigger moments, and Jonathan Taylor was the train moving down the tracks for that offense. So in my book, I would give it to Jonathan Taylor, but I do think the winner is 100% without a doubt going to be Cooper Kupp for Offensive Player of the Year. And last but most certainly not least, we have the NFL MVP award. This is going to be the toughest decision that we have to make all video. Aaron Rodgers is the heavy favorite to take home this award for the second consecutive year, it would be. But I gotta be honest, I don't think a single quarterback deserves this award any more than Jonathan Taylor or Cooper Kupp. People that vote for this shit completely misinterpret the MVP terminology. It stands for most valuable player, not most valuable quarterback, and they don't seem to get that through their thick skull. So I would personally give the award to Cooper Kupp with that in mind. He won the Triple Crown, which means he led the league in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. The dude's been on an absolute tear this year. He has solidified himself as a top 5 wide receiver. I mean, the season he's had, it deserves so much recognition, and I almost think the MVP award doesn't even serve it justice. That's kind of why I gave Jonathan Taylor the Offensive Player of the Year award, because both of these guys had such tremendous seasons that it honestly, it just doesn't make sense to me that one of them is, and I mean in all reality, is going to go without recognition this Thursday night for this award. And it just doesn't make sense in my mind, especially knowing that not a single quarterback really pulled away with this award more than anybody else. Now, as far as the player that I think is going to actually win the award, in all reality, not in my little personal world, I think it's going to be Tom Brady. Tom Brady put together a season that was so statistically dominant, and just knowing how old he was when he was doing it makes it all that much more impressive. Aaron Rodgers had a good season himself, but I mean, Tom Brady, the dude passed for over 5,000 yards, had over 40 passing touchdowns, and he's 44 years of age. He's 6 years older than Aaron Rodgers. And that's crazy, man. I do understand the concept of the voters voting before the postseason, so they weren't supposed to know that Tom Brady was going to be retiring after this postseason run, but something tells me that they kind of had a tip-off when they were voting, and I do think the whole narrative of Tom Brady, you know, going out with an MVP award, retiring with the most valuable player, I think it would just kind of encompass Tom Brady's career perfectly, and it would put the cherry on top. The other reason why I do think it's going to be Tom Brady and not Aaron Rodgers is because what happened with that that NFL awards voter earlier in the season. He was caught, was like an audio recording of him saying, no way he's voting for Aaron Rodgers for MVP with the way he's talking about the vaccine and all that shit. Obviously, he had different views on the vaccine than Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying that's right, and it no way in hell should influence his decision on who takes home this award. But something tells me that that award voter in particular wasn't just speaking for himself. I could be completely wrong, but I don't know. I just, for some reason, think that Aaron Rodgers was kind of made out to look like the NFL bad guy this year. Tom Brady was the good guy, 44 years old. He's retiring. I just think the narrative fits for Tom Brady a lot more than it does Aaron Rodgers. And how many guys take home consecutive MVP awards? It just doesn't happen often. So with all that being said, I would personally give the award to Cooper Kupp, but I do think in all reality, it's going to go to Tom Brady. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm sure you will be watching the show tonight just as I will be, but as always, if you enjoyed this one, please be sure you're leaving a like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. If you want to hit the bell to be notified when I upload, I'd appreciate that. You want to go over to Twitter, follow me over there. I would appreciate that as well. I have a TikTok down in the description that you should check out. Mott's Applesauce, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.